What does it mean to be an Igbo man? Is it the tribe, or some people will say, are they behave like Igbo man, or
there's each tribe in Nigeria has the certain things that we associate with it. For example, I'm Yoruba. Yoruba people are seen to have a good time, know how to enjoy themselves. Faji and Yoruba, that, yes, Faji and Yoruba people 5 and 6. With the Igbo tribe, I think the thing that's people are known for is money, the love of business, business, the resourcefulness.
Yeah. See, an Igbo man, these are the very empirical characteristics of Igbo-ness. Let me put it that way. Yes, an Igbo man is dogged. Yeah. His sense of enterprise and financial multiplication is very high. He's very enterprising. An Igbo man is very brave. An Igbo man has a lot of territorial dominance.
Okay.
An Igbo man is very audacious. They don't fit in, they stand out. Yes. An Igbo man is very brave. An Igbo man rather dies on his feet than live on his knees.
Oh, wow.
That's true. They're very enterprising, very brave. Yes. And they're not, like I said, they're audacious. They're not afraid to start everything all over again. So an Igbo man is a cat with 9 lives. Yeah.
Why? How? I'm just like, this is why I didn't hear anything.
Yes.
No, but it's the truth. But it's a standing fact.
An Igbo man is a cat with 9 lives. You can only attempt to break an Igbo man. It's going to be an effort in futility. You can't.
How many times
you can't break an Igbo man? You can't break their will. You can't bruise them.
Simple.
Yeah, they're like titanium. It's not possible.
So what separates Igbo men from other tribes?
Yeah,
Yoruba, Hausa, etc.
That I know. I can only tell what I know because the Igbo man is close to us.
When I see this post, I burst laugh. One thing about other tribes in Nigeria, talking about Igbos, is that they failed to settle down and learn who the Igbos are and who the Igbos want to be. Yes, it seems like what she's saying or the question they ask is true, that Igbos love money. Show me one person that doesn't love money. We say that Nigerian problem is corruption. List 20 most corrupt Nigerians that are Igbos that are looting our funds. If Igbo na they love money pass. The fact that you are lazy and other people work hard to make more money for you, you target love of money. But I want to let you know that the Igbo race, the new generations, are not interested in who become the richest or the love of money. Rwanda does not have the richest people in Africa. Dangote is the richest man in Africa. They don't have it. They don't have the richest people in the Forbes. But Rwanda citizens and Rwanda as a country is doing far better than Nigeria. So if we don't have the richest people, but the country is functioning well, it's better for us than bragging about who is the richest, who has more money, why are they doing this thing. The entrepreneurship of an Igbo man is what people have failed to understand. Just like Innocent started making cars in Nigeria, despite all the challenges he had, he still insists. Just like Ojukwu father started bringing transportation system private owned in Nigeria, despite all they have, Igbos are still leading industrial. That is what is going on. We are supposed to be competing to industrialize the country, not tribal competition. Check out this post, and I will come back to talk about it.
Let's first go to Terra Industries. It's a robotics and drone manufacturing startup right here in Abuja, Nigeria. I caught up with the software engineer behind it all. Take a look. In this factory on the outskirts of Abuja, an emerging industry is busy securing some of Africa's critical infrastructure. Terra Industries, co-founded by 23-year-old Maxwell Maduka and 22-year-old Nathan Nwachukwu, is building autonomous security systems powered by artificial intelligence and drones.
I've always been thinking, what is the best way to truly help industrialize Africa? And I've always believed that it comes down to the big three: security, energy, and food production. We wanted to begin with what I think is the common denominator holding the continent back. So we began building out autonomous systems to solve the security crisis in Africa.
This factory has the capacity to build 30,000 drones per year. Terra also says that it exports to 8 African countries, protecting critical infrastructure from gold mines to power plants.
Most of the key components are built in-house. From the airframes, the propellers, the lithium-ion battery packs are all manufactured in-house. That has helped us keep costs really, really low. It's easy for us to scale manufacturing without cutting costs.
A key focus for Terra Industries has been developing and building software and hardware in-house, helping them beat off stiff international competition. You managed to lock down a pretty lucrative deal, $1.2 million, beat out an Israeli consortium. Big deal. What would you say gave your product an edge?
I would say it's the end-to-end integration that we had. It's not every day you see a company that's building both the hardware and the software at the same time. And we have companies that are acquiring hardware and then, building out their own software internally, or acquiring software and building out the hardware. We're a company that were able to say, okay, we're going to build out great hardware and integrate great software, everything in-house. And that was what made us stand out.
Terra's software, called Artemis OS, is the brains of its system. And in the field, its flying drones watch from the sky, and its sentry towers, equipped with cameras and sensors, watch from the ground. Both systems check for intruders or other security threats.
It collects all the surveillance data from all these different systems. It analyzes this data, looking for threats in real time. And once spotted, it alerts the necessary response teams, whether it's security agencies or in-house response teams. Essentially, we want to ensure that the software ecosystem of Terra is entirely African. And that is the key to keeping that data safe.
Terra Industries has only been up and running for less than a year, and it's already making waves.
Terra today has actually raised only less than $600,000. And within that short span, within the 11 months we've been operating, we are currently at $1.9 million in revenue. We have $11 billion worth of assets under our protection today. For us, the key thing is, in a few years' time, we eventually want to have $1 trillion worth of assets under protection, which would essentially encompass all of the power, mining, and oil assets in Africa.
What am I trying to say? The Igbo race are competing with the rest of the world, not with other Nigerian tribes. This young girl set a record in her exam. Small girl. Chisom set a record in her medical field. It is there to go and verify. Okonjo-Iweala's son set a record in the medical research field to use a robot for spinal surgery. We're here to bring innovation. We're here to change the narrative. We're here to industrialize the country. That is why Aba and Nnewi are industrialized cities. They are not the capital of their state, but they are industrialized cities. Apart from those two places, name any other place that is not a capital of any other region in Nigeria that are booming like these two towns. Go to Aba, you will think it's the capital of Abia because of industrialization. Go to Nnewi, we think it's the capital of Anambra, but because of industrialization, apart from Warri that is in Delta, that because of crude oil and industries there, tell me other town outside their capitals that are booming, that looks like their capitals. You cannot find. Nigerians should leave tribalism alone. I have said it time without number. Allow the Igbo man to thrive on his own quest. You will enjoy the Igbo man. Look at what those two young boys are doing. Try to set a record for security purpose, to industrialize the country, to bring innovation. Under 30, While others are there shouting, P2B will never be president, people are bringing solution to the country. They are there shouting, Igbo man do this. The Igbo man is solving a problem. Problem solving is what makes people rich. Look at the money those guys are going to control in the next future. You come and say they love money. That is how you see, because they are industrialists, they saw the future, they are investing in the future, they're taking advantage of the system, and they are making money. Then you come and say, it's the love of money that makes Igbo go. When the cow does not have a tail, who chases the fly away for him? When you people are being tribalistic, bigotry, and all those things, that is why their chi is not saving them. Their chi is giving them idea to innovate and to bring success to them. I'm out of here, John.
From before his time till today, but he said they want to dominate. What he meant to say is that God blessed them, because there is something about Biafran people that the Fulanis can see that incidentally, the Fulefus cannot see in themselves. This man understands one very simple fact, that the Biafran people are like the Jews of Africa, as Henry Kissinger said and wrote in his memo to President Nixon, that he believes that Biafrans, especially Igbos, are the wandering Jews of Africa. Henry Kissinger said it, wrote it in the memo. Go and check. Go to the Library of Congress in America and go and check. I'm not going to give it to you. Some of you are very lazy. You cannot read. You cannot do any research. Go and research it yourself. You say that. How are they dominating you? They are dominating me by coming into my town and developing it. They are coming into my town and teaching our children how to read and write properly. They are opening businesses. They are successful. That is how you dominate them. Are you listening to me? So because Britain is the largest inward investor into the USA, that means that Britain is not dominating USA. Or in the late 80s and early 90s, when Japanese people and businessmen were the highest investors in the USA with Toyota, Nissan factory and everything else, that means that Japan is now dominating USA. Do you see how they reason? Do you see why I call them Janjaweed? Do you see why their brain, do you see why I cannot be in the same country with these people? With this level of hatred. Why do you hate me? Okay, because I am successful at business and economics. That's all. And because of that, I should be killed. Efulefus, are you listening? I want to prove to all the Efulefus that the hatred today in the zoo was brought about by Fulani Janjaweedism. Listen carefully, please.
If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman.
If you put them in a labor camp, if you take Igbo people in those days, Biafrans, I mean, anywhere they are, you put them in a labor camp, that's what he's saying, they will emerge as the headman. Why are they emerging? Is it not the same way that Joseph emerged in Egypt, in the house of Pharaoh, from nothing, to show that the blessing of God is upon these people? You cannot suppress. There's a saying where we come, I can't get with someone. You see the moon, your hand cannot cover it. It's blessing. It is called blessing. It is not domination. It's blessing from God. And that blessing is for the whole of Africa. Not just even for Nigeria. It's for the whole of Africa. The blessing that Biafra brings to the table is for the whole of the black world, wherever you have any black person residing. You cannot stop it. Nobody can stop it. That blessing from God, that is why a white man can see a Biafran laborer and say there is something in this man. Because of that, I'm going to make him the head man or the foreman of this company. Because the blessing of God is upon that man. The same way it is upon Israel. You cannot, it's a blessing from Elohim. You can't take it away. Instead of people to see this blessing, what they see is they are coming to dominate me. Do you understand it now? Zoological Republic. Are you following me this evening? I thought it's a very special broadcast. I want the world to understand. Because I know the US ambassador is listening, the UK High Commission, all of them are listening. I want to know it was Fulani that brought in hatred into Nigeria. Fulani. This is their master speaking. This is their progenitor speaking. Over 60 years ago, And all those things he said over 60 years ago are still prevalent today in the damnable Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Why do you hate them? They dominate. How are they dominating? If you put them in a labor camp, because at the time that this man was referring to, all the labor camps, all the factories were run by white people, by the British. And regardless of what you may say about them, those people, they know how to be even-handed. If you're hardworking, they'll promote you. These British people saw the blessing upon these people from the East. Children of light saw them. That was why Igbo people dominated the civil service, dominated not because they wanted to, but because God's mercy and blessing was upon them. That is why they are hated. Not because they've done anything wrong. You hate them because God is with them. And no man can destroy it. This is a blessing from Elohim. They call it domineering and domination. Now you understand me, don't you? Do you understand now? The Igbo people are ancient people, very old, the oldest people on the face of this very earth. Bano, Igbo, ancient, that's the meaning of it. Old people, old. The center of the world. That is why they occupy the center of the world. Zero longitude, zero latitude, the very center, the very beginning of life itself. God did not make any mistake by placing us there. I want all of you, both the Fulefus and those who are normal, who are listening to me this evening, to understand this very gift. The more we misuse this gift that God gave to us, the angrier God will be with us, and the more destruction we are likely to face. And there is only one solution to this problem: freedom. Because when freedom comes to Biafra, freedom will come to every black person on the face of this very earth. That is that thing that people see, and they say they're domineering. They are this, they are that. It's a blessing from God Almighty in heaven. Let us listen to Fulani Janjaweed. Why do you hate an Igbo man? If you place him in a labor, did you place an Igbo man in a labor camp? The time that we are referring to, it was the British who were in charge. It was the same white people that were picking Igbo people and making them foreman and headman, because the grace of Elohim is upon them. When you see them, the light of God is shining. That is why they give their children names like Ikechukwu, Chibueze, Nnabisi. All of these names venerating Chinya, gift from God. Onyinyechi. Now you understand it, don't you? When we answer all these names, we wear it on our forehead, but we don't know what it means. We answer Tamuno, we answer Obase, we answer Abase. It's on our forehead. We answer Olisa. We are so much loved by Elohim that even in the name of God we answer. Why shouldn't God's grace be upon us? Do you see why Biafra cannot be destroyed by any mortal? It's indestructible. No matter how angry God is with us, he remembers his promise. He remembers the purpose for which Biafra was created. And that promise must come to pass, because the word of God said, instead of my spoken word not to happen, heaven and earth will come to pass. Upon that very authority do we stand to proclaim that Biafra must come. There is nothing that God cannot do. But to the ordinary person living in the flesh, to a mere mortal with a temporal mindset, you cannot understand it. It's only those of us in the spirit that can see it. You have to be able to discern what is happening, to be able to understand what Biafra means. Some people are running about shouting, Biafra, Biafra, they don't mean God. They have no idea what Biafra means. You people is an example of the fulfillment of God's promise upon the lives of men. In other words, Biafra is beyond politics. Biafra is beyond what man can understand. Now you know why we answer Umu Chineke, the children of God in heaven, unashamedly. Why do you hate Igbo people? He said they are domineering. How did they dominate you? Because anywhere they go to, the grace of God is upon them. Even the white man will call them and ask them to head a factory. And then their brothers will come and they even receive more blessing and they become millionaires and they become billionaires in a land far removed from their own, because the grace of God is with them. God goes before them. That's the name they give to their children. Before we come to your land, God has already prepared it for us. Not to conquer you or to dominate you, but to prosper, that you also may prosper. Only if Africans can see this. Only if Africa can understand what Elohim intended to do with Biafra. Maybe one day they will. Let's listen to this Janjaweed.
If they go to a village,
yes,
or a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area.
What do you call monopoly? Is it not the same monopoly that Dangote is having today? Do you know that in the USA, of course, we're going to take him to court in the USA. It's called antitrust laws in the USA. If you run any monopoly anywhere in the world, you will go to prison in the US for 25 years. No monopoly is allowed in the US. If you go, I think there was a report that came out a few days ago, making it very clear that Dangote is running a monopoly. The same people accusing us of monopolizing everything, they are the ones that monopolize pasta. They monopolize Indomie. They monopolize salt. They monopolize sugar. They monopolize cement. And now, finally, they have monopolized petrol as well, because only Dangote refinery will be working. I want people to reason, especially those that went to school from the South. I want you to put your mind to this. They talk about monopoly to tell you that Fulani came with a game plan. In order to conquer, they feel they are like Lucifer, Satan, who will pursue darkness. In order to conquer the light that is from the east, Biafran people, they turned everything on its head. They closed all the refineries that were working, and they now gave license to a Fulani man, only one man to refine petrol. They took away cement license from everybody, including Ibeto from the east. They gave it to Dangote. Only him can import cement. Only him sugar. Only him salt. Only him pasta. Only him Indomie, whatever you call it. Noodles. The same thing they are accusing other people of. And sometimes people shouldn't despair. When you have other tribes joining them, saying Igbo man did this, Biafra this, Biafra that, don't blame them. The devil, anybody who rises up to castigate Biafra, is a child of Lucifer, a child of Satan, and can never make heaven. I said it many years, was just many years ago, a few years ago. Anybody against Biafra cannot make heaven. If you listen to this broadcast tonight, you will understand the reason why. We answer Chibuzo. God goes before us to prepare a way for us. And then we come, and the grace and the blessing will be coming out in abundance. You won't understand it. It is not our own making. It's Elohim. We are his children. He must bless us. We can annoy him all we like, do all the things that we do. He will punish us, no doubt. But in the end, that blessing is there. It cannot go away. Because anytime God gives his blessing, he doesn't take it back. He's not man. Janjaweed, why do you hate Igbo people? Because they want to dominate. They are successful and God is with them. That's all. That was the reason why they killed 5 million people. And today, we are still talking about Biafra. Because Biafra is the promise of the Most High in heaven. Listen.
Put them in a labor camp.
Yes.
As a laborer. Within a year, they will try to emerge as headman of that camp.
They are not trying to emerge.
So on. Well,
God is with them.
In the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities.
In the past, the Fulani did not realize how to stop the Igbo man. Fulani did not realize how to stop Biafra. But now, we have realized it. That is what they said over 60 years ago. That is what they're still doing today. You must pay attention, please.
Because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when
they now have a northernization policy. I'm going to, this thing is talking about happened in the late 50s, even before independence. Listen carefully. In the late 50s, before independence, that same thing is happening today. In a short while, I will show you how. It is called a Fulanization agenda, more like. All those years that Buhari was crying for losing elections, it was because he was saying that what their progenitor is saying, they wanted to finish this job of jihad by stealth, started by a descendant of Uthman Danfodio. You are listening to the voice of the Sadwana of Sokoto. He should have been the Sultan of Sokoto, but because he was into politics, they gave him a special title, the Sadwana of Sokoto, and shipped him to Kaduna, where he was reigning, where he was the king. Now listen carefully. He said, we are now alive. This was the man that wanted to continue what his great-grandfather started. His great-grandfather is Uthman Danfodio. He's a prince. That was why when they came into Delta, when they came into, what is it again? Into Delta, I want to remember what is wrong? Is it old age or what? I keep forgetting things these days. Opanam. When they got to Opanam, Nzogu's village, they killed every male child in Opanam, almost. Only those outside survived, because this is a prince of the Sultanate. This is a prince of the Fulani Emirate. This is a direct descendant of Uthman Danfodio, the man that defeated Hausa people and took their land. This is his great-great-grandson. You are listening to his voice. Uthman Danfodio, that's the great-grandson. No, great-great-grand, I think it's 3 generations or thereabout before him. Either the great-great-grandson or the great-grandson, one of those. And an Igbo man killed him. That is their anger. But who wouldn't kill this idiot after listening to him? He sounds like a bandit. The banditry and terrorism is them. You can hear him. He sounds like a bandit. Like a bandit. Nzogwe from Opanam in Igbo land. In Anyama. It was that man that killed him, because Nzogo said, what you're saying, sir, is anti-Nigerian. That's all. That's why he was killed. I said, they killed all of our people. Look at how you reason. Do you see the reason why anybody fighting for one Nigeria is bound to end in misery and failure? Do you understand it now? Do you now understand it? Listen once again, please.
Came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
All important posts are being held by northerners. This happened in late 50s in the north. Now Buhari in 21st century, or those ruling in his name, because the idiot is dead, are now doing the same thing at a federal level. Northernization agenda, more like Fulanization agenda. He said every important position is now held by northerners. And in a short while, I'll read you through all the lists. Even today in 2021, every important position is held by a Fulani northerner. Do you see how they play their own game? But a Fulefu can never understand it. An ordinary Fulefu can never understand it. Let's listen.
Policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians, a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first.
Northerner first.
If you can't get a northerner, then
If you cannot get a northerner, we hire a white man like yourself. He's about to say, if we cannot get a northerner, we hire a white. Not a fellow black man, not a fellow African, not Africa, let's unite. When I hear people say Africa, let's unite, you see I laugh at them? This is supposed to be a pan-Africanist. This is meant to be a man that fought for independence for his so-called country. He's meant to transcend tribe and religion. But here he's saying it is going to be a permanent feature. Permanent! Northerner first. And today it is happening. And I want to prove it to you that it's happening today. Zoological Republic. You must pay very close attention to what this man has to say. Very, very briefly. Then I will tell you why they have consistently, they groom people, they train them on that northernization agenda. It doesn't change. It doesn't matter who is in power. A northerner has to be the chief of army staff. A northerner has to be the chief of defense. Everything is north. Everything north. You see the reason why? They know what they're doing. Because they know that we are black people. After a while, we accept it as the norm. It can no longer offend our senses anymore. Did you see it? Do you see that it didn't start today? This northerner first, this northernization, Fulanization started all the way in the 1950s, over 60 years ago. 60 years ago, over 60 years ago, it started. Give a Fulani 1 bag of rice and 2 teaspoons of sugar. He will sell his entire village. Ask Fulani to come and occupy it. Do you see why ESN has come? We are the first and the last line of defense against this rabid Fulanization agenda. Listen to him one more time, then I'll give you the proof.
Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Explain.
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first.
A permanent one.
If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself.
You take a white man, not black.
If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too.
On contract.
This is going to be a permanent, I should say.
A permanent!
As far as I can
Fulani everywhere is permanent.
It would be rather dangerous
over 60 years ago
to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
It might lead to bloodshed. There's something that's happening today. That's one thing he got right. That unemployment in the north will lead to bloodshed, which is where you have Boko Haram, Fulani Janjaweedism, Yetiala, you have Fulani headsmen, you have ISIS in West Africa, you have bandits everywhere. Is it not happening now? Everything, I give him credit, everything this man said is happening today. That's why I played this clip. Some of you have seen it many times over, but your brain can never digest or the magnitude of what this animal is saying. An animal he is. Now let me prove to you that what this man is saying is absolutely over 60 years ago. Somebody wrote, not me, the Fulanization of Nigeria. What this man said, our agenda is to make sure it is the northerner first, or Fulani first. Now listen. The Fulani oligarchy headquartered, look at the Sultan shedding his crocodile tears. That idiot, Sultan Sokoto, a complete fool, a complete idiot. He is shedding crocodile. Let's do something about one Nigeria. They know what they're doing. It's called deception, Takia. They know. There's some will play good cop, some will play bad cop. Today they will say, we want referendum. Tomorrow another idiot will come and say, no referendum. They know they are playing with your mind, playing with your brain. That's what they're doing. Now listen. Have you ever observed that the Fulani Caliphate, in collaboration with those they deceived with their Kanuri brothers, and to an extent Yoruba Muslims, how they have conquered Nigeria? Nigeria is Nigeria. I said all the Fulefus. I made one simple request: go outside, just in a bar, anywhere in the world, and ask anybody, how do you see Nigeria? They will tell that Nigeria is an Islamic country. Showing you that you've been conquered. All of you, what IPOB, ESN, Biafra generation is doing is to free you from your slavery that you don't know you are into. That is why anybody from the South, even me, we're talking about one Nigeria, I look at you as an animal because you don't know you're conquered. They have conquered Nigeria. They have captured the three arms of government. Exactly what the descendant of Ottoman Danfodio said that they're going to do. But let me remind you that Ottoman Danfodio said they will dip the Quran in the Atlantic. He said, we will dip the Quran in the Atlantic. That's what Ottoman Danfodio said. Now his great-grandson came out and said, we want to dominate everybody by blaming the Igbos that come to dominate us. So we dominate everybody. And one wretched idiot from Nigeria Republic that the father used to sell dog. The father will buy dog. You know dog, obobo. Buy dog from villagers in Nigeria Republic and come to Daura to sell. On one of those trips, the idiot met the mother of Buhari and gave her one dog for free. And the next day, before you know how those things, it's like chewing gum and biscuit in those days, and the Fanta, soft drink. With our women in the East, chewing gum, you used biscuit, cabin biscuit, chewing gum, sweet. It's called hacks in those days, and a bit of Fanta. If you add Fanta, the same thing happened. This man gave a bogu dog to Buhari mother. That's how they gave birth to Buhari. Dog or bogu in exchange. The idiot is not even a Nigerian. He's from Nigeria Republic. Buhari. Where is the president of the zoo from? Those that are ruling in his name is Fulani. To tell you that their northernization first agenda is now complete. Totally complete, they have done it. Where is their president from? Fulani. Or should I say presidency? Because there's no president. Presidency is Fulani. Chief of staff, Fulani. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Fulani. Senate President of Nigeria is Kanuri, of course, is Fulani. They're all the same. Deputy Speaker of the Senate is Fulani. The Army Chief of Staff is Fulani. Navy Chief Fulani. Police IG Fulani. National Security Advisor is Kanuri, of course, is some Fulani. Janjaweed. DSS is Fulani. National Intelligence Agency Fulani. Directorate of Intelligence, Army Intelligence is Fulani. Then listen to the ministries. I'm now reminded, go back to the voice of the man you heard a while back. Go back to it. Defense, Minister of Defense, Fulani. Minister of Finance, Fulani. So when they steal money, nobody can say anything. That's why somebody came out and said, Buratai stole money. And their so-called presidency came out and said he didn't steal any money. They control everything. They can burn papers. That was why Army headquarters was set alight. Because of the loot, the stolen money. Buratai and the Fulani Janjaweed Mietiala, they never wanted the paper trail to lead to them. They burnt, they set the army headquarters on fire. That is what the Fulani do, and do it very well. Some of you may be too young. You don't remember somebody called Ibrahim Taher, the former Minister for Communication. His office was at the Nitel Tower in Lagos, in the Marina, Nitel Tower Marina. After stealing all the money meant for Minister of Communications, he set Nitel on fire. Go and check. That is how you know that Fulani have looted money. They set the building alight. Go and check. They set alight the Federal Inland Revenue Service in Abuja when they stole money from there. Now, Buratai as well set fire to Army headquarters in Abuja. Is it very clear to you now how they roll? It's Zoological Republic. That is the reason why they need to put their people everywhere. Because for them to put Hope Uzodinma in power, they had to make sure that the Fulani man is the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Do you understand the trick? It's very simple. To make sure that they get their man as Ohaneze, President General, they need somebody they control in Imo State. You know, that they may be driving cattle up and down, but Britain is advising them very well. And they are listening. Are you following me? To put Hope Uzodinma there, the Minister of Justice, Onogen, was pursued, chased away from office in Abuja, chased away by Mieti Allah. And they put Otanko, Aeroplane Turner, a man that read Sharia law, Chief Justice of a secular nation. That is why I think that Nigerians are mad. Believe you me, Nigerians are insane. Their brain is not correct. Somebody that studied Sharia law is the head of the judicial system of the secular nation. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Federal Capital Territory, Fulani. Agriculture, Fulani. Police affairs, Fulani. Aviation, Fulani. We need to sing song with this now. Those who play music. Aviation, Fulani. Communication, Fulani. Power, Fulani. Water resources, Fulani. Humanity. Everything is Fulani. All the 19 northern governors are Fulani except Benue, Plateau, Taraba, and Kogi. Every northern, apart from 4, the rest are all Fulani. And they are visitors. They are migrants. They are not indigenous to the place. Because Fulani have a game plan. From the word go, their game plan is to dominate and subjugate you. Dominate and subjugate. They are the ones who are the thieves. But they are busy pointing at people. Hey, EFCC. Whereas Fulani, nobody steals more than Fulani does. They are kleptomaniacs. They are real highway robbers. After robbing, they point at somebody else. Oh, look at him. He's on investigation. And I asked Fulani, who stole more than what a Fulani man stole, Omar Diko? Omar Diko, when money had value, stole over £5 billion in a mobile bank and ran to England. True or false? Who stole more than Abacha? Who stole more than Buhari when he was alive? The missing suitcases, have you forgotten? All of you, have you forgotten? Do you know why Aisha Buhari cannot travel to USA? I went to USA. But the Fulani that claim that Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist, they cannot travel to USA. They cannot. Everybody cannot go to the US. Has it ever occurred to any of you before to ask, why is it that Aisha cannot go to the US? They claim they are clean. They claim they are pure. Some idiots will say there cannot be any looting under Buhari. Buhari is dead. All of you are criminals. Buhari was a criminal himself. How? You ask. Buhari, why is it that your wife Aisha, instead of hiding in America where Imelda Marcos was also hiding another looter like herself, why is she hiding in the UAE, in Arab country? Because Aisha Buhari was implicated in a fraud perpetrated by Halliburton, a US oil-based company. True or false? Was Aisha not indicted in America for stealing? How about Atiku Abubakar, Fulani? Can he go to the US? Of course, it was a RNG visit the other time. How much did Atiku Abubakar steal? He was a rogue, a certified criminal. Fulani are the ones looting the zoo. When they cannot loot unofficially, they loot officially through Dangote, who is a money launderer. He's not a businessman, he's a money launderer. Who doesn't know he's a money launderer? Papa Sanjo knows. All of you keep quiet. Because you're in the zoo. Because your brain cells are not working. People who came from Senegambia with their cattle came into your land and deceived all of you from the north. All of you! Shame on all of you! Deceived all of you. Today, all the 19 governors of the north, only 4 are not Fulani, the rest are all Fulani. And they are not indigenous to the place. Sometimes they're not even up to 40,000 Fulani in a state. And they take it over. Because you people are stupid. You are very, very foolish. Very, very foolish. It is that foolishness that we care and also idiots are promoting in the East. They don't know the consequences. By the time the consequences of what they are doing will dawn on us, they are all dead. We are all dead. Our children will be taken over. As they have taken over the north. As they have taken over the north. Lord God, have mercy on these people. Now, I have not finished. I have given you the parastatals, I've given you the ministries. Now, let me give you the key agencies headed by the Fulani Northernization Agenda, Fulani First Agenda, started by Sadon of Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello. The one they named the university after in Zaria, Ahmadu Bello. That was the reason why Nzogu killed him. Nzogu didn't kill him because he hated the Fulani. No. Nzogu killed him because he knew that the man was a reprobate. He knew the man was an evil man. How many agencies are headed by Fulani? Remember, Fulani has taken over the presidency, all the armed forces. They've taken over the rulership of all the governance in the north. By 4 only. Now, let me tell you, the agency set up by the Fulani, they have taken over everything. So even when they steal money, you can no longer know now, because Fulani will steal from customs and tell Fulani in EFCC to burn the file. And the file will be burnt. EFCC, the Economic Crime Commission, whatever rubbish is called, Fulani. NFIU, Fulani. Customs, Fulani. Immigration, Fulani. Prisons, Fulani. Civil Defense, Fulani. NMPC, that's their private property. That's their private Fulani Janjaweed is their possession, NMPC. Nobody dares to come close. And some idiots are saying we are Niger Delta. We are from South. This maybe mad lunatics in the creek. This maybe in the Ara. NMPC, Fulani. PTDF, whatever that means, Fulani. DPR, Fulani. PPRA, Fulani. Petroleum Trust, every fund of Fulani, Post Authority of Fulani, NIMASA, Fulani, NDIC, Fulani, SEC, Fulani, NICOM, Fulani, FMBN, Fulani, FHA, Fulani, NHIS, Fulani, NP. The list is endless. And you are one Nigeria. Some of you are after graduation, you start looking for work. They have said that anywhere they put you into, one day you will emerge as the head. So you can read all the degrees you like in the zoo. Once you're a Nigerian, you can never get a job if you're from the East. They've said it now. That is why all of you answer to illiterates in Abuja, in the ministries. Now you understand, don't you? All the parastatals they've taken over. The Sovereign Wealth Fund of Nigeria, which is the investment arm of Nigeria, where all the money goes to. Do you know who is controlling it? The daughter of another late president of Nigeria called Abba Kyari. The daughter is controlling the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Nigeria. Sovereign wealth. So when they invest in things like Microsoft, in blue chip companies like Dell or Apple or whatever, it is the Janjaweed, the daughter of Abba Kyari, who's in charge. Yeah, you're just shutting one Nigeria. Let's move our country forward. Mad lunatics, all of you are. Your brain cells are not complete. Abba Kyari's daughter, Sovereign Wealth Fund, they are holding the zoo. All of you are just animals in it. Go and read the Animal Farm. Some animals are more equal than others. Fulani are more equal than you because their game plan was well laid out from the beginning, well marshaled. If you talk, they bring terrorists against you. They unleash their bandits. When that doesn't work, they bring Mietiala with their cat. You can never win. And they're in a hurry. They only have 2 more years. They're in a hurry. And by the time they're done with you, also the pain is that those of them are, now listen to me, the Hausa people that allowed Fulani to conquer them, they're all dead. Now their children are the ones suffering. No more Hausa kings, all you have are Fulani emirs. That's how these things are. Oh, dear me. Elohim, all glory and honor belongs to thee. That is the reason why the Fulani came to Imo State. They tried to take over Imo State. And is now, he promised them, grab the opportunity to be at the center of Nigeria's politics by joining APC. And then your land is gone forever. And then to join APC, you must give land for cattle ranching, for Ruga, all the rest of it. And our land will be gone. Hey, that is what Fulani told their Igbo slaves. All of you are there watching Korokoro naked eye from number 4 to number 1. And some of you call him governor. Some of you call him governor. Because you know nothing. Because you're cowards. I thank Elohim for IPOB. I thank Elohim for ESN. And how God sent unknown gunmen, I don't know, but I'm praying for them every day. They are saints. We have elevated them to sainthood. Unknown gunmen, they are saints to us. They are angels that we are seeing. We cannot see them anywhere. In fact, they're like angels. You cannot see them. You can't see them. Unknown gunmen, you can't see them. We don't know who they are, but they're doing the work of God. Unknown gunmen, as they did to them today in Akwa Ibom. We don't know who they are, but we're praying for them. Because to us, they are the only ones avenging what these animals have done to us. In the name of one Nigeria. Let me tell you one thing. This nonsense that this the police IG said about establishing more police posts. It's like churches in the zoo. The more churches you build, the more, should I say, immoral the society becomes, or amoral, whichever one it is. The more police stations you build, the more lawlessness you will have. There is no substitute in life for jobs. Go and create jobs, you dim-witted idiots running the zoo. Not police station, not how many vigilantes you have. Not how many AK-47 are in the society. What guarantees security from time immemorial? Just jobs. People should be engaged. And I don't mind, it's a devil's workshop. It's something that informs the economics of people who are progressive. Very simple, but you won't know. You want to go and build more police stations in there. Build it now, and a non-government will burn all of them down. And there are terrorist attacks everywhere. Children are being abducted every blessed day. Some of you cannot reason, and you still want to be in one Nigeria. Can you see how they abducted Christian women in Kaduna? Some of them half naked. And you're in one Nigeria, praying for one Nigeria. The more kidnappers will strike. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. And on that note, before we bring today's program to a close very shortly, because I intended to be very, very short, I have a lot of things to talk about, but I want to make it very short. Let me also remind some of you fools like Hope Uzodinma, the Janjaweed administrator of Imo State, Supreme Court appointed. He said, we hijacked ESN from them. Iberibe warrior. I will read something that somebody wrote. I think it's, who wrote this very brilliant piece? It's one of our good writers. Well, how come his name is not here now? Oh dear.